Cool. So, like I said, we're gonna two solutions today to the problems I talked about in the beginning, right? First solution is how do we go back and make our old clients worth more money? That's what we just walked through, over the past 40 minutes. And so what we're gonna spend the next 15 or 20 minutes going over is number one, if you do that if you do have old commercial clients and you go back and you run through that cycle, there's nothing stopping you from doing this next one, right? So that you can kind of get a 2-for-1 out of this. But then secondly, if you've never sold commercial services, then this is where I would recommend you guys start. All right. And so, like I pretty much just said, if you don't have a backlog of clients, no worries. We're going to leverage your personal and professional networks. All right. So, people that know people who need your skills. And I'm going to show you how to tap into those connections, how to get introductions to hot prospects who are likely to trust you because you come highly recommended from the people within your network. Right. And so, this section is pretty much about the art of tapping into your existing network so that we can give your sales division a little bit of a boost without stretching your marketing budget. All right. So think back to the whole inputs, outputs conversation that we had. The whole idea here is to get the biggest ROI without having to put the inputs in, right? You guys have already spent some money to be here, and let's talk about how to leverage it. So in my opinion, this is the simplest yet one of the most overlooked strategies. And I'll tell you why here in just a moment. So when I showed you guys the silos, the hot, the warm, and the cold, and then I showed you the next slide and it had the warm and the hot highlighted, we're going to do reach outs to those people. And when we do warm and hot reach outs, that's going to involve making personal connections with those people that already know you. All right. Or people that you've sold stuff to if we're thinking about the hot silo. And this might sound basic, but it's truly a gold mine for generating interest and with people that you've already earned you've already earned their loyalty. And so this method is incredibly cost effective. It should yield a high engagement for you guys because again, they already have this pre-established trust. And then most businesses miss this opportunity, but I'm not going to let you guys do that. All right. And if it sounds like, if you're looking at the first thing and you're looking at this and you're like, hey, this sounds like a lot of work, or this sounds like, we got to roll up our sleeves and actually do something, then, welcome to business. Think of your friends, your family, past colleagues, past clients, business associates, all of those people, they either work somewhere or they know someone that works somewhere that knows somebody that, manages the building or manages the maintenance of the building. And that's who we're going after. Okay. So step one, I keep getting ahead of myself on these slides. So everyone has a network, right? And so what we're going to start doing is we're going to pull together a list. And so this is like where you actually have to take action. And we're going to basically create a list of contacts. And it could be from, let's say you're doing residential roofing currently. You can pull these contacts from your CRM or database, right? These are people that know you exist or know your business exists. So that's actually where I would start. Next thing is I would pull out my phone, or I'd go into my email, or I'd go into my social media platforms, and I would continue making this list of as many people as I could think of that would understand, would be okay with me reaching out to them. And like I said here in the slide, you'll be surprised at how quickly this list grows. These are all of your people, or these are all people that have already opened a channel of communication with you in one way, shape, or form. Step two is you've got to, once you guys have the list created, we just got to figure out, how do you want to talk to these people? Like, what is the vehicle? Are we riding a moped or are we driving a Ferrari? And so it might be through doing emails or social media or even doing like video calls, right? Or video messages. I had a guy in Southern California that was transitioning into the commercial world, had zero pipeline, and sent video messages to past clients that he had dealt with that he enjoyed working with in the past. So like literally just videotaped himself sending like 30-second messages and sending these out. In our opinion, or in my opinion, I should say, this is the order of most effective channels, and this is how I would do it. I think it's easiest just to make a quick phone call and like basically have a conversation with somebody in that way. I think the world's going more towards text messages being slightly more accepted than just calling somebody out of the blue. So make your own opinion on it. Social media and then email. After we have the list, we know how we're going to contact the people. We just need to craft a message that's going to resonate on a personal level, but not be weird. Okay. So we want to reference something specific about them to make the outreach not feel like we're spamming them or sending some sort of, I don't know, like a mass message of some sort. No one's going to reply if you're sending out, 100 texts, 100 of the same text to 100 different people, or very few people will respond, I should say. And this isn't it's not really about making a sale here in the beginning. It's really just about reconnecting with these people, right? We just want to make the reconnection. And then if there's some synergy there, then we'll leverage that to our advantage. And so what I would do, and so 100 can be 100, reaching out to 100 people can be subjective, right? And so if you don't have the bandwidth to do that, just figure out what works for you. But I would say make it a big number, because like we want to take out any reason or make it unreasonable for us not to be successful in doing this. Okay. So I put in here, reach out to at least 100 contacts a day, use a variety of communication methods, calls, texts, emails, direct messages. I would follow up with somebody, up to 3 or 4 times before, with them not responding, before just saying like, it's probably a lost deal. And just as a little added note, I put in here, either you can do this or you can have someone do it for you. Okay. And so if you want to give somebody your phone in the office, if you have an assistant, I know, again, we're all, coming from different roles. We're all, our lives look a little bit different. So like I said, either you can do it or you can have someone do it for you on your behalf. And then once the conversation starts, I'm going to give you guys an example on this next slide of what I would say. And I like to keep things pretty cut and dry, but I would just ask for what we're looking for, right? Ask for what you're looking for, I should say. Don't try to be sly or sneaky, because in my experience, like, people smell it from a mile away. And also people respect someone that can just ask for what they're looking for. And so my example to you guys that I typed up, in just a few minutes last night, is that I would say something like this. If I was a residential roofer and I was going to reach back out to somebody that I had, done their roof on their home, I would just say something as simple as like, hey, it's Cody. I'm the roofer that did your house a couple years back. How are you and the family? Or, hey, how are you? Do you still have, Spot, your dog, right? Something that resonates with whatever your connection was with that person. They're more than likely going to say, hey, we're good. How are things in your world? Or, how are you? And you can respond accordingly to that, and then just say something along the lines of, I actually just got put in charge of the commercial roofing and maintenance division over here at our company. Obviously no pressure, but was just hoping you might be able to point me in the direction of anyone you might know that's responsible for the maintenance on some buildings, or even the person that handles the maintenance at your work, to see if there's anything I could help them with. Is there anyone that you like that comes to mind? Now, something I'll highlight here, I don't think I can actually highlight it, but is this last sentence. Okay. And I took this from a marketing book that I read a while back, but I love the idea of ending my question with this, or ending with a question like this. Is there anyone that you like that comes to mind? And so for those of you guys that know me, I like to diffuse any sort of situation that's awkward or off-putting with humor. And so if they don't respond, then we could respond and say, how about anyone you don't like? Haha, right? Or some laughy faces if you want to use emojis, I don't know, whatever you're into. And so that's the way I would do it. And like I said earlier, I would probably send like 3 messages before I just don't, before I, cut someone loose from my list. And so first message would be something along these lines. Second message would be like what I just told you guys, like, how about anyone you don't like? LOL. And then the third message would be like, hey, David, really don't mean to bother you. Just thought I'd check in one more time. I'm really trying to get this division up and going. Is there anyone that you could point me in their direction, or something like that, right? Just super non-pressure-y. But yeah, that's how I would do it. And so last thing I'll share with you guys here is this works with not only past clients, but friends, family, old colleagues, people around town. Just change the context within the first part of the conversation. All right. And that's my last slide right here, but it teased me up because I need to show you guys one more thing. All right. And so the secret to making this work is to prioritize tracking the daily inputs, not the outcomes. And you're like, all right, dude, what the hell does that mean? So I'll show you. I will share this document for those of you guys that don't have access to it yet. And what this is, I guess, from a high level perspective, is it's a tracking sheet. Okay. And so for whatever way you plan on reaching out to people, whether it's through LinkedIn, Facebook, cold calling, canvassing, like going and visiting people or doing email, we want to track what actions we're taking on a daily basis. So then when we get to the end of the month, if we're successful, we know why. And if we're not successful, we know why. I think most people, generally speaking, for the human race here, is that we tend to judge ourselves on the outcomes rather than the inputs that we're taking on a daily basis, or the effort that we're putting forth on a daily basis. And I don't want you guys to become a victim of that. All right. So in order to make this happen, we just got to take the action every day. So like I said, if that's reaching out to 100 people, like I recommend, or it's reaching out to 20 people because that's all your bandwidth allows, I still think that tracking those daily inputs is going to make a magnificent difference in what we do here. And then at the end of 30 days, if it doesn't work, you can call me up and cuss me out and tell me how bad I suck. So that's what I have to share with you guys today in regards to making our clients worth more money or, getting more clients.